Preparing na po ako. For, ila-live ko na po ba?
Sige, sige,
Sige.
sige. Len,
Ah,
okay lang. I-live mo na.
live na po, ma'am.
Oh, live. Okay, we're live. All right, so we will share this live to our feed, to our personal posts para mas maraming maka-reach ng
Okay. Do you want to open it?
Okay, tingnan lang natin. To our personal posts para okay, tingnan lang natin. To our personal posts para okay, tingnan lang natin. To our personal posts para okay. Na i-share niyo na ba, Mr. Chair at Attorney Brian, ang ating kwentuhang cybersecurity. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, mga ka-Pix Pro. Yeah. Kumusta po? At magandang hapon sa iyo, Mr. Chair.
Yan.
At ganun din magandang hapon kay Attorney Brian Thomas Santa Maria from of the CWC. Attorney, maraming salamat.
Yes, hi. Magandang hapon po, or as we say sa CWC po, no? Isang makabatang hapon po sa
Ayan,
ating
isang makabatang hapon sa iyo, Attorney Brian. Thank you sa pagpapaunlak sa amin, no? Okay, you'll be introduced formally later, but sa ngayon ay mag-shoutout muna tayo sa ating mga viewers. Teka, titignan ko lamang kung meron
Si Pre Sherwin, yung past president ng Pix Pro Aurora chapter.
Yan, oo, syempre. At ito yung isang kuyang mo, si VP Mike.
Si Kuya
Sa,
Mike.
oo, si
Lagi
Kuya
lang.
Mike. Magandang hapon ka, Pex Pro. Happy Friday. Magandang hapon sa iyo, VP Mike. Oh, kita-kits tayo.
Oo.
Yan. At si Harold Diago, gandang hapon sa lahat. Gandang hapon din sa iyo, Harold. Harold, I hope that you can share this Facebook Live sa iyong post para mas marami tayong mga friends mo na maka-reach nito kasi napaka ganda na ating topic ngayon, no? Alright. Ayan, at syempre ang isa pang poging VP ng NCR, si VP Ben Izra Dacudao. Watching, magandang hapon sa iyo from Katipunan, QC. Yan. Okay, si Sir Harold Diago ay from Bicol. Mr. Chair, you mentioned before that there was a supposed
Mayroong nag-reach out sa atin dati na taga Bicol na gusto nilang magkaroon ng Pix Pro chapter sa Bicol eh. Hindi ko lang na-follow up na.
okay. Ayan, parang siya yata yan. Sige, Sir Harold, kung ikaw man yung nag-reach out sa amin, mag-send ka ulit ng message sa PexPro para ma-attendan namin and we'll see from there kung ano natin, no? Para sa pagiging chapter ng Bicol.
Si Junjun Santos, ang President and CEO ng B1Gito, ang technology partner ni Pix Pro, nandyan din.
Okay, yeah. Hello Sir Junjun.
Si
Ayan.
Junjun, ano na yan, magaling nang mag-golf yan.
Wow.
Lagi nang nag-golf.
Golf, yan.
Panggitin lang natin, no, na nung nung nasa PLDT pa ako, running the cybersecurity of PLDT Group, partner natin ang CWC sa pag ah, prevent ng access to malicious sites that has something to do with online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Kaya itong usapin na to, Attorney Brian, ibang level na naman ito.
Yes po, sir. I agree.
Mr. Chair, naalala ko rin nung dati nating kasama si ED Jello Tapales, no, nung nag-discuss tayo about OSAEC, binigyan din niya tayo, very generous ang CWC, binigyan nila tayo ng mga materials para ibigay na topic discussion sa ating mga cybersecurity awareness.
Teka, nandito na ang isang ating magandang lalaki na guest din ngayon, si Kuya Raymond Gregory Tribdino. Kuya Trib,
Yun. Magandang hapon sa lahat.
Ay, magandang hapon sa iyo, Kuya Tribs. Can
Yes,
we call you Kuya Tribs?
Yes.
We will
alam
get
ka pa talaga sa salon
Ay, hindi, nag-headphones lang. Nag-headphones lang. Salamat for having me. Magandang hapon. Attorney Brian, magandang hapon po. Kuya Tribs po.
Sir, good afternoon, Kuya Trips.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yan. Okay. Kuya Tribs, mamaya tutulungan mo ako na mag-anchor ng mga, should I say, magtanong sa ating mga
Sure. Yes.
panauhin dito, ha?
Correct. Okay.
Oo.
Maganda
Hindi ko
yung
naman
topic.
hindi ko naman sinasabi na dahil sa batikan ka.
Sobra
Ang
naman.
sinasabi ko is, marami ka kasing,
Batikan yan. Ano
yung
yan?
marami kang
Haligi.
kaalaman.
Haligi yan. Hindi lang batikan, haligi.
Di ba
Oh.
yung mga batikan at haligi nilalaglag yan sa di ba binabato yan sa cliff ganon, nilalaglag sa mga tore.
Grabe.
Di ba?
Maraming salamat, Kuya Tribs, ha? Maraming salamat.
Salamat. Siyempre,
pagkakaunta.
pagka si Sir Angel ang nag-invite, I am more than willing.
Alam ko kailangan ka namin dito, Kuya Trims. Napakalaking problema nito. Hindi
Oo nga.
natin kung paano to.
Actually, yung post na ginawa mo, meron akong ilalagay na sagot sana, but I relented. Kasi magiging masyadong malaki yung issue. Tapos yung isa nating kaibigan na nagkukunwaring expert, meron siyang nilagay na na pinag-usapan nga namin na mahirap yung comments na
Let's hope.
di ba?
Yeah, anuhin na natin mamaya. I-discuss natin yan mamaya. But for now, let's greet muna si
Oh.
Attorney Brian ng happy birthday!
Uy, happy birthday, Attorney
Birthday ni
Brian.
Attorney Brian, grabe.
Opo, thank
Happy
you so much.
birthday!
So, bago natin yung birthday ni Attorney Brian, ito pinagbigyan tayo ngayon, ilang beses na nating inimbita ito, busy.
Yan ang batikan at veterano.
Oo, ang mga invitation nito, may mga taga-makeup pa bago isalat sa si Kuya Martin Aguda. Ito
Good
naman.
afternoon,
Oh,
bossing everyone. Afternoon po.
maraming salamat at
Maraming
napaunlakan
salamat.
kami. Si Kuya Tribs din, busy din to. Pero dahil siguro sa bigat ng issue na to at buti na pagbigyan nyo kami dahil hindi na ito theory.
Tama.
Yan na.
Correct.
Nangyari na.
Correct.
Confirm na. Ang na lang natin dito, anong gagawin sa susunod? Diba?
Correct.
So, kaya very strategic ito. Mayroon tayong from Council for the Welfare of Children, si Attorney Brian. Meron tayong batikan na technology-centric na journalism. And meron tayong emergency response expert. No? Alam ko yung mga eskwelahan, merong earthquake drill,
Yeah.
merong fire drill. Pero walang stabbing incident drill, walang
Online,
shooting
walang
drill.
active.
Mhm.
Bagong-bago ito,
Yes.
Kuya. No,
Yes,
bagong
kuya.
Yes, Mr. Chair, let's check on our viewers muna kasi may bumabati pa ulit kay attorney. Ayan, no? Happy birthday daw, attorney, from Jovelyn Peralta.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
At kay John
Attorney,
Nashi
anong
Garoy.
bracket ka na ba? Anong bracket ka na?
Ang
20
brackets,
to 30, 30 to 40? Kasi
20 to
kami ni Kuya Tribs at ni Kuya Martin, nasa bracket kami ng 30 to 40 eh.
Sir, 20 to 30 pa po, sir.
Mas bata ka pa.
Malapit lang sa atin.
Pero wala na lang.
Kapit-bahay lang, kapit-bahay.
Magmano ka muna, attorney.
Opo, ma'am.
Ayan, okay.
Yung boss niya si Yusek Jello Tapales. Nasa bracket din natin yun. Mga
Ay.
30 to 40 din yun eh.
Yeah, okay. Kabracket ko si attorney.
Ayun.
Yun.
Ka-bracket pala ako.
30, pwede. Hindi na
Pwede,
pala.
pwede.
Question
Yeah,
yan, no?
okay. At eto
Sino
pa,
pa dito?
si Claire De Lune Lopez, mabati rin sa'yo na happy birthday, attorney.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
Si Ray Navarro Francia, ito ang may utang sa'yo ng
Ito, Bulacan.
ng
Ang tagal
Bulacan
natin
chapter.
pinag-uusapan yung Fix Pro Bulacan chapter. Hanggang
Oo,
ngayon,
ito
hindi
nga
nabubuksan dahil si Ray busy pa.
Yeah, oo nga eh. Ayan, so, Ray, peke naman, no? This time. At happy birthday din daw ulit sa'yo, attorney from LA, Lignes.
Thank you, thank you.
Ang dami. At si Maria, ano ba to? Si Tave Philip Duarte. Ayan. Happy birthday din sa'yo. Ayan. Okay. At happy birthday sa lahat din na may birthdays ngayon. Okay. Ayan. At meron pa ba dyan sa'yo, Mr. Chair? Meron ka pa nakikita?
Mukhang nabanggit na natin lahat. Pero ito, batiin natin si nakita ko dito si Justin Alitao. Ang ating mga cyber warriors na nagde-deploy sa North Luzon ngayon.
Hello, magandang hapon
James
sa iyo.
Kyle. Ayun, si Paps Christopher Laguatan. Paps,
Oh.
magandang hapon sa iyo, Paps.
Yan, nakita ko yung message niya na talagang
Mhm.
manonood daw siya or makikinig siya ngayon. No?
Oo, tsaka
At,
mayroon din yan eh, may sarili din yan siyang research na ginagawa eh.
yes. Ayun si VP Ben, oh, good PM na naman ka Pix Pro, si VP Ben. Hello sa iyo, VP Ben.
Talagang ito. We still have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Ano na tayo?
Okay na, Mr. Chair. We will check yung ating viewers from time to time, but I think we can proceed with our topic discussion.
Sige,
Para mas
i-introduce na
mahaba-haba
natin yung
yung
ating
ating...
mga guest speakers natin ngayon.
Yeah, okay. Pero may isang humabol, si Emmanuel Athena Dayan. Magandang hapon ka, Pix Pro. Happy Friday. Ayan. So magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. At mamaya na ulit tayong mag-shoutout sa ating mga viewers as we will give time for our discussion. No? Itong ating discussion for this afternoon ay medyo mabigat, no? Pero kailangan nating i-discuss para not to create fear, but rather to create awareness, no? Sa lahat, especially sa mga parents, sa mga teachers and youth leaders. Okay. And itong discussion natin this afternoon, napaka-rare ng oportunidad na ito na mag-gather natin itong mga gentlemen na ito in one screen to discuss about this threat, itong bagong-bagong threat na ito, no? And to help us with this discussion, ay unahin ko na yung ating yung sinasabi mong kabracket mo, Mr. Chair, no?
Yes.
Si Mr. Raymond Gregory Tribdino, or also Kuya Tribs. He's a journalist and covering automotive, science and technology, cybersecurity, cloud, renewable energy. He is also a certified data privacy practitioner, and he co-hosts the Tech Sabado and America's leading clean energy podcast, Clean Technica. Sir Raymond Gregory Tribdino, aka Kuya Trips, magandang hapon sa iyo and thank you.
Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Magandang hapon, Ruby. Magandang hapon din, Sir Angel Redoble. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga taga-Pix. Pero ngayon, dati comment lang ako ng comment. Ngayon nandito kasama ko kayo. Salamat.
Yeah, salamat. And he is joined by one of the in-house lawyers of the Council for the Welfare of Children. Itong CWC is an attached agency of the SWD, no? And si attorney, he advises the agency on laws and policies related to children, and he also appears before the Senate and House of Representatives to give key recommendations on child-related legislations, and he also provides guidance on administrative matters. So, ladies and gentlemen, mga ka-Pixpro, let's welcome the birthday boy, Attorney Brian Santamaria. Attorney,
Hello po everyone. Isang makabatang hapon po sa ating lahat. Sir Angel, Ma'am Ruby, thank you so much for inviting me po to Expro sa Kwentuhan Series.
yeah, thank you for gracing this event, attorney. And thank you for spending your birthday, no, yung 1 hour mo or 2 hours with us. Thank you. We also have right here, binigay niya yung bio niya kay Mr. Chair. Pero meron akong nakita na sobrang ganda eh. So just allow me to read this, no. Yung next gentleman natin, he has been recognized for his work on disaster resilience, crowd behavior, and the science of panic. No? Yun talaga eh. He's an expert in emergency management, in behavioral science, in crisis preparedness. And he's just everywhere, no? Sa bawat screen, no? Sa bawat telebisyon na ando doon na siya. No, ladies and gentlemen, si Mr. Martin Aguda. Sir Martin,
Thank you, Ma'am
magandang hapon
Ruby. Magandang
at salamat.
hapon, Sir Angel, boss, and Pix Pro. Good afternoon. Nice to be here again.
Thank you Thank you sa pagsingit na your busy schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And of course, we also have should I say a cybersecurity strategist, a visionary, no? And he's one of the distinguished resource persons during the hearing, the Senate hearing last July 1. No, so nakita rin natin siya sa television. Our very own Mr. Chair and founding president, Mr. Angel Redoble. Mr. Chair.
Hi, good afternoon. Isang
Yeah.
makabatang hapon at isang makabatang araw sa ating lahat, no?
Yeah.
Ito ay isang napakalaking problema din na nung mga more than 1 year ago ay binabasa lang natin, no, na nangyayari sa ibang bansa. At itong taon nga na to na nangyari na nga ang kinatatakutan natin na mangyari. And sa ating pagsisiyasat, hindi ito isolated. Kaya kung uumpisahan na natin, I will deliver a 10-minute presentation to set the context kung ano ito. And then we can ask our guest to provide their inputs and recommendations as to how to respond, no, kung ito ay mangyari ulit. So ito yung nangyari sa Tacloban. So allow me to share my screen.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the floor is yours.
Okay. Right. So itong visible na ba?
Yep, nakikita na namin.
Itong tinatawag na cyber-enabled cognitive grooming ay framework ito na nabuo namin sa PIX Pro, no? Hindi mo pa makikita to. Ang makikita mo na discipline ngayon is yung cognitive warfare. Bukod kasi sa nakikita natin na krimen na ginagawa, mayroon siyang pinanggagalingan eh. At ang pinanggagalingan nito, mayroong methodology. At ang methodology nito is it attacks the brain or the mind of a vulnerable young person. So kung titingnan natin yung mga previous incidents globally, nag-umpisa itong mga incident na ganito 2021. Pero yung mga recent, 2024 sa Sweden, merong stabbing, merong sa UK, USA, tapos last year, yung DOJ, they charged leaders of 764 Inferno with operating a global child exploitation enterprise. Tapos sa Canada, they designate itong grupo na 764 na maniac murder cult as terrorist entities, no? And then in 2026, mayroong group na Chai 764 sa Sweden indicted on 77 offenses. So, all in all, mayroong mga 295 arrests, no? And in 33 different countries ito. In 33 different countries. Dito naman sa atin, since 2025, yung PNP-ACG natin identifies 764 or the No Lives Matter and True Crime Community Recruiters already active inside Philippine gaming and social platforms. And then in 2026, this very recently, yung during the inquiry, ito yata yung first inquiry, yung radicalization prompts roadblocks to tighten safeguards for Filipino minors, ha? Hindi global minors, for Filipino minors, no? And then itong October 25 July 2026, si PNP-ACG, they conducted 17 rescue operations. They rescued 24 minors, 5 rescued children had self-harm. Mayroong mga self-harm. And then in this few months back, merong foiled 764 recruitment attempts traced to Marikina and Laguna. Ito yung nagplano sila na mag-mass shooting. Pero dahil ang ating ACG, meron silang counterpart sa foreign countries, nabigyan sila ng intelligence info na prevent 'yon, no? Nung nangyari 'yon, ang tanong agad namin, ito ba yung mga gamers ba ito, no? Until yung June 22 ng Tacloban, yung 2 grade 9 students, nung narinig natin sa balita na may mass shooting sa school, yun na naman ang tanong ko agad. Gamers ba itong dalawa? And then yun nga, during the hearing, na-confirm nga natin na gamer sila at hindi lang na-confirm na gamer. Talagang may influence galing sa isang member ng 764 na grupo, no? So, kaya natin tinawag na cyber-enabled cognitive grooming ito. Kasi we saw that it is a systemic use of online platform. Systemic. Hindi siya random, no? Systemic use of online platforms and private digital communities to, number 1, identify the target. Number 2, isolate the target and manipulate the target, no? And then psychologically condition vulnerable individuals, the young people, particularly minors, towards self-harm, violence, or other harmful behaviors. No, ito yung nakita natin. So, why cyber-enabled cognitive grooming at not just grooming? So dito, si 764 na network is not simply exploitation. There is a cognitive conditioning, no? A deliberate psychological pipeline, not a single predatory act. Mayroong pipeline ito. And 764, No Lives Matter, and the COM, the bigger network, yun ang kanilang network. Mayroong umbrella at mayroong different networks. So CECG is the doctrine that explains how that network actually radicalizes a child. Diba? Mayroon silang proseso talaga. And why it evades existing frameworks? Because CECG has no coherent ideology. Wala silang, unlike other groups, mayroong ideology, kaya pwede mo i-counter. Ito, wala silang coherent ideology. That's why, hindi mo mag-counter. Mahirapan kang mag-counter, no? And they embrace the nihilistic violent extremism, which is precisely what makes it hard to detect with traditional counter-terrorism tools. Wala talaga tayong ano dito na nakikita, no? So, ang kanilang nakita natin na kanilang methodology is gumagamit sila ng environment kung saan sila maghahanap ng victim or target, no? Ang tawag natin dito is the platform. And the platform, number one is online games. Ito yung kanilang hunting ground. At kung titingnan mo yung data, ang Pilipinas, napakataas ng numero natin pagdating sa mga online gamers na minors. No? And then social media. Tingnan mo yung data kung nasaan si Philippines sa social media. Diba? Nandun din tayo sa taas. And mga content platforms, TikTok, for example, di ba? Nasaan si Pilipinas doon pagdating sa TikTok? Nandun tayo sa taas, no? And this is where the child is first encountered dito sa platform na to. The next layer of risk is the community. Ito na yung mga private servers nila, encrypted group chats, invite-only channels. In this stage, the relationship between the recruiter and the victim moves out of sight of parents or moderators. Kapag ka nasa public server ka, may moderator. Pag nasa private server ka na, wala nang moderator doon. Pag nasa encrypted group chat ka na, wala nang moderator doon. And then the layer 3 is the manipulation. Nakita niyo yung post ng isang nanay, yung anak niya na siguro 4 years old yung anak niya, di ba? Na sinabihan yung bata na maghubad ka at magtalon-talon ka dyan. As early as young as 4 years old, minamanipulate na nila. Mayroon ng psychological coercion, no? Because na-isolate na nila yung bata. And it only escalates. Because yun ang kanilang methodology. Umpisahan ka sa maliit, bigyan ka ng reward. Umpisahan, paggagawin ka ng isang bagay, bigyan ka ng reward. Up to the point na you inflict harm to yourself, you commit suicide, you stab others, you commit arson, or you shoot other students in your school. And this is where the damage is done. No? Now, under this methodology, there is a 7-stage grooming pipeline, no, under the CECG. Sa discovery, sa first stage, this is the discovery stage, no. The recruiters, they embed themselves in vulnerable spaces. What are the vulnerable spaces? Mental health forums, gaming platforms, At itong bagong subculture sa TikTok, yung e-girl, no? Itong e-girl, ito yung mga grupo na mahilig sa gothic, mayroong mga disorders, no? And then ang stage 2, pag na-identify na nila yung target, kinakaibigan na nila, no? Kaya it does not start with a threat. It starts with being a friend. Friendship ang ino-offer nila. Hindi ka naiintindihan ng mga kaibigan mo, ako intindihin kita, hindi ka pinapansin ng mga ng family mo, ikaw papansinin kita. So, they provide validation, belongingness, no? Pero dito, wala pang ano dito, walang visible harm dito. Pero mayroon na dito mga direct messaging, voice chats, they build the emotional investments nitong mga vulnerable na mga kids natin. And then number 3, isolation na. Kapag ka na-feel na nung victim na very close na siya doon sa kanyang recruiter, na hindi niya alam na nire-recruit siya, yung bata ngayon, i-isolate nila. Dadalhin nila sa private servers. Wala na sa public servers ng mga gaming servers. And pupunta na sa mga direct messaging na encrypted, and dito sa mga invisible to platform wide moderation, which is yung mga private channels. After isolation, nandito na yung escalating coercion. Ito na yung paggagawin na yung mga bata ng kung ano-ano. So ang 764 network, nag-umpisa yan sila ng paggagawin ka lang ng child sexual abuse material, papadala mo, and then they will use it as leverage para gagawa ka na naman ng iba, no? Dito yon sa escalating coercion banda. Sa stage 5, the members, they compete for standing through increasingly graphic, degrading content. So yung mga members na nagre-recruit, pagagawin na nila ngayon ng mas horrific pa yung ano nila kasi nagko-compete na sila eh. For example, kung sino man ang handler nitong sa Tacloban, no, mass shooting, mataas yun. So supposedly yung kanyang status sa network tataas yun dahil napagawa niya, no? So nagko-compete sila. Now, dito sa normalization of violence since 2025, nagkaroon ng shift based doon sa research, no, na from committing self-harm, sexual abuse materials, ito nag-shift sila sa violence. Ito committing or documenting real world violence na, not just abuse materials. Hindi na abuse sa pet, hindi na abuse sa sarili, ito real world violence na. Ito na yung stage 6. And stage 7, the end point, ito na, stabbing, arson, shooting, no? So nag-evolve itong grupo na to dito sa kanilang 7 stages of grooming. Now, dito sa Tacloban na ng pangyayari, itong dalawang grade 9 students, 14 and 15, opened fire at San Jose National High School. 3 classmates killed, 20 wounded. And there was a Facebook account, no, during the Senate hearing that belongs to a groomer. At sabi niya, na-edit na kita boy, Tagalog. That confirmed na meron ng mga Pilipino na players dito. And that is even more dangerous, no? So, dito sa Tacloban, na-confirm yung stage 7, a completed act of documented and potentially circulated for status within the network. Hindi na natin alam kung ano nangyayari after na, no? So, dito ngayon, without a stage model, Tacloban reads as an isolated tragedy. Isolated lang siya. Pero with cyber-enabled and cognitive grooming, it reads as a possible pipeline outcome. May outcome, may pipeline siya, may outcome, which changes the policy response from reactive punishment to intervention. no? At stages 1 to 4 before a child ever reaches stage 7. So, asan ba nangyayari ang kada stage? So, stage 1 and 2, nangyayari ito sa gaming platforms and social media. And this should guide our lawmakers. Anong gagawin natin sa gaming platforms at social media? Stage 3, nangyayari ito. Stage 3 and stage 4, nangyayari ito sa Telegram and Discord. If naalala nyo, sabi ng CICC noon, i-ban natin to ng Telegram. Negative reaction ako doon sa CICC. Pero with what's happening and what we have seen, ito, napakasama pala nitong nangyayari na ito. And then stage 5 and 7, nasa Discord na sila in Telegram, and also, merong offshoot sa X, sa TikTok, sa YouTube for wider glorification. So itong nangyayari sa atin ngayon ito, baka gustong-gusto to ng 764 network kasi pinag-uusapan sila eh. Sikat sila eh. Di ba? So, ito yung mga warning signs pag ikaw naman ay magulang. Sa stage 1 and 2, ito yung tinatawag na secrecy about new online friends. Ayaw mo nang ikwento sa magulang mo ito eh. Tapos, merong sudden platform switching, which is, hindi naman teke yung mga magulang, hindi nila malalaman na wala na pala sa public servers itong anak ko. Nandun na pala sa mga encrypted and private environments, no? And then the parents should look at their children kung mayroon bang mga unexplained marks or injuries. Kasi ito yung mga self-harm eh. Pinapagawa ng self-harm. And they should observe yung mga fascination sa mga groups na with nihilistic content. For example, violence, self-harm. Yung shooter sa Tacloban was wearing KMDFM, which is similar dun sa mga na-involved naman na shooting, was wearing the same shirt, no? And then resistance to device checks. Kapag i-check mo yung device ng anak mo, nagre-react negatively. No? And then withdrawal from family and peers. Magiging tahimik na, lagi na lang naglalaro, matutulog kunyari, gigising, maglalaro pala. Yan. Yan yung ating mga red flags sa mga magulang, no? So, for parents, sa tatlong intervention natin dito, first layer would be the parents. Ito yung primary leverage natin sa stages 1 to 4. No? Open conversation without shame as the first response. Preserve devices and accounts. Never let a child delete and move on. And of course, report to PNP ACG, no, or NBI. And then sa schools naman, building referral pathways to law enforcement and DSWD. And most importantly, ito napansin namin, no, ituro natin sa teachers and parents itong cyber-enabled cognitive grooming na nakailan na kaming report dito sa school ng anak namin kahit nung na prevented na 2 incidents. Sinasabi namin, yung eskwelahan, yung PTA, walang sense of urgency. Ito, nangyari na yung Tacloban, walang pa rin ginagawa. Di ba? Dapat nagpapatawag ka na. Tingnan mo ang Cebu. Sabi ng Cebu ngayon, they will include active, nabasa mo yung Kuya Martin na they are planning to include yung active shooting incident sa drill nila. No? And then of course, yung law enforcement natin. Should be there 1 minute after my incident. So, dito sa problema na to, ang tawag natin dito, visibility is the defense layer. Visibility ng magulang sa ginagawa ng mga anak nila. Visibility ng school sa lahat ng mga dala-dala ng mga estudyante papasok ng eskwelahan. Visibility ng LGU and law enforcement sa nangyayari sa kanilang environment, and so on and so forth. No? Dapat may visibility tayo kasi that's the only way we can respond either proactively or reactively, pero mabilis na response natin. Ayan. So, yan ang aking short presentation. And
Yeah.
BP Ruby, ano ang ano natin next?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nakakatakot pero mas maigi nang alam natin yung pinresent mo, no? Meron lang akong tanong kay Sir Martin. Sir, let's take the Tacloban shooting, no? Nangyari na eh, no? Nangyari na siya. Andiyan na, nagkaroon na tayo ng shooting. So, you being an expert in emergency management, paano i-incorporate ng mga eskwelahan, itong active shooting simulation ba, kung tatawagin na yan, doon sa tinatawag na mga earthquake drill nila or simulation. Kasi ganito, susugang ko lang yung sinabi ni Mr. Chair. Pagka magtatanong ka sa ibang school kung ano yung mga ano nila, ang lagi lang sasabihin, may guards naman kami. Ganun lang naman, 'di ba? So parang tama, hindi sila ganun kaano ba? They are not taking this seriously kasi iniisip nila may mga guards naman sila. Dahil yung sa Tacloban, para nakita nila may loopholes, walang mga guards, mababa yung pader and all that. So, yes, Mr. Martin.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, no, regarding terminology, nagsimula yan active shooter sa Amerika, di ba? Dahil every week may active shooting. And before it was just a terror attack, no? It's a mode of terror attack, no? But nakita rin yung pattern, estudyante rin, mga estudyante rin yung gumagawa ng mga attacks. Yung active shooter na term, ngayon, ang ginagamit in other countries is active attacks, hindi active shooter. Because it can be active attacks. It can be, it can take in many forms, no? Iba't ibang mode, no? So nakita naman natin, syempre, firearms is one, di ba? Pangalawa, yung nakita natin sa Cavite, bladed weapon. It can be improvised weapons. It can be even vehicles. And worse, incendiary device or IEDs, di ba? So, ang term na ginagamit nila dyan is active attack event, no? Nag-shift na sila from active shooter event to active attack events because it will cover yung iba't ibang modes of attack, no? So, yun. So, yung tanong mo, kailangan bang i-incorporate? Definitely yes. But me as an emergency manager, marami lang tatanong sa akin pag may mga active attacks sa Amerika, may mga nagpapatrain, may mga tatanong sa akin, can I help them with their contingency planning for active attacks? Actually, hindi ko rin sa pinapansin na Sir Angel eh. Dahil sinasabi ko, iba naman yung konteksto ng Pilipinas. Pag may active attack dito, daming gwardya. Sandali lang yan, subdued, di ba? At saka yung firearms natin, hindi naman din ganoon kadali compared sa pagka-acquire sa Amerika, no? So, iba yung context. But now it happened, andyan na. Medyo nakakalungkot, no? And yun ang nakakatakot dito because aside from yung na-discover mo, Sir Angel, of how these active attacks are being ano ba yung term na ginagamit natin dito sa terrorism, radicalize, di ba? So there is radicalization basically, and when we use that in terrorism, ang isang lens na ang isang nakikita ko diyan na nakakatakot din aside from the online radicalization is the copycat terror attack. Because of the so much attention ng media, social media, di ba? We tend to glorify the attackers, di ba? Kaya nga, hindi ako agree dun sa pinopost pa natin ng mga memes yung dalawang attackers na yun eh. In fact, in other countries, they don't usually name the attackers. They forget about the attackers and they glorify the heroes. So yung hero, si Lawrence, what's his name, no? Siya yung dapat ilumabas sa social media, hindi yung mga attackers. Otherwise, we are glorifying eto mga attackers natin. So, ang pangalan si Chris Lawrence Fabian, no? So Chris Lawrence Fabian. Nakita ko kanina, dumaan ako sa EDSA. So mga billboards doon, no, nakakatuwa, no? Very good kung sino man yung nag-initiate nun. That's how it is. We should glorify the heroes of an attack, honor them for their bravery and heroism. and forget about the attackers, but not to forget yung mechanism, because we have to correct that immediately, no? Regarding drills, yes, we don't have that drills kasi wala pa sa lens natin yan. Ang drills lang natin dyan, Ma'am Ruby, is limited to the duck cover and hold and fire drills, no? Prior to this, we know we saw yung malaking earthquake sa Mindanao, and I was in media for several days at sinabi ko nga, I commend yung ginagawa nating quarterly drills sa earthquake, because the teachers, in a way, nakakatakot yung scenario na yon. They have guided their students well, pati na yung mga estudyante, alam na nila kung ano yung gagawin because of the quarterly drills nga naman. So, repetition is very important. However, may bago na naman tayong challenge. Nangyari na itong sa Tacloban. Different schools are now coming up with their respective active attack protocols. And just 2 days ago, I was in DepEd National Office, and naka-online ako doon. 14,000 ang nakikinig dun sa lecture natin, no? Because people are now interested, how do you handle such, no? Kasi hindi yan po. Okay, so okay lang ba, Ma'am Ruby, i-discuss ko na yung yung protocols?
Sige, sir. Sige, sir.
Okay, sige. Di ba naririnig natin common yung run, hide, fight na protocol natin? Okay. Yung run, hide. Pwede bang, can I share some slides if I get, okay lang ba?
Sige po. Is it available there?
Yeah, oo. Pwede lang gawin mo kung
Len, can you grant access to Sir Martin?
send request. Para makita natin, para maging visual. Yan. Yan, okay, sige. There we go. Sandali lang naman po ito.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sir Angel. Then, naghanda ko para sa iyo, sir eh.
Yeah, after this.
Okay na po.
Okay, thank you, Len.
Sandali, let me share slides now.
After this, may tanong ako kay attorney. Pinaghahanda ko lang si attorney.
Yan. Okay, sige. So, are you seeing my slides now?
Yes.
Yan. So, ito, this is the definition, di ba? Anyone who tries to kill people in a confined area. And ito yung mga tanong ko dati. Nung nangyari yung Resorts World, this is Resorts World, di ba? Dati pa. Is this an active shooter event? Ang sinasabi ko, it's not an active shooter event. Kasi an active shooter is defined as someone who shoots randomly to whom it may concern. Ito, hindi man siya nagpaputok ng baril, actually, at may binaril siya, nanunog siya ng casino. No? So, it's more of an arsonist na category to, at mukhang may binabalikan dahil masama yung loob niya dun sa casino na yan. So anyway, in the lens of kung talagang maging strict tayo about definitions, it's not an active shooter. So this is the active attacks that I mentioned a while ago. Yan, using firearms, knives, improvised weapons. And siguro lang appreciation on the emergency response natin, no. Tama ka doon, Sir Angel, no. Dapat importante yung arrival ng law enforcement. Okay? The number of deaths will be dependent on several things. Number one, how quickly the police will arrive. Okay? Kadalasan, ang active shooting, it will end pag ubos na yung bala, pag wala na siyang papatayin, so target availability. At yung how police will arrive, how quickly police will arrive is very critical. In the US, actually meron akong friend na California Highway Patrol, no? When I was there, sinasabi niya sa akin, nag-change yung protocol namin. Dati kasi, inaantay pa nila yung SWAT to arrive, yung tactical teams. Because that is a barricaded situation, meaning hostage situation, di ba? Inaantay pa nila yung SWAT, but there was this case in US na inantay nila yung SWAT, ang daming napatay dahil inantay pa nila yung SWAT. So, ang protocol nila change after that. Sinasabi nila, pagdating ng unang police car dyan, they should engage the shooter. Because dapat mabilis. The time that yung mag-end ang active shooting will end doon sa paano man-neutralize ng police o mapasuko niya. So that's very critical. Again, yung 911 natin, that's very critical now. Kung gaano kabilis makaresponde yung mga police natin. So yun po yung important din dito in contingency planning. Okay? Sabi ko kanina, hindi po madali ituro itong active shooting response, lalo na sa civilians. Hindi po parang the cover and hold to, 1, 2, 3. Ito, pag nakarinig ng putok ng bala, ng baril, ang mga bata, no? Even mga teachers, baka maghiwalay, baka maghiwalay yung kaluluwa sa katawan dahil sobrang takot, no? So it's not easy to teach active shooting protocol. So it's understanding how you behave in high stress events. Kaya nga sabi mo, Ma'am Ruby, kanina, I'm very much into analysis sa managing panic during emergencies kasi kailangan pag-usapan to, no? Pag tinuturo to sa eskwelahan, dapat pinag-uusapan tong how do you manage panic in emergency situations, no? So yan, normalcy bias, no? Ito yung nakita natin, no, yung sinasaksak yung mga classmates niya. Bakit hindi nag-react? Kasi nagpa-process pa yung brain natin, what is happening, classmate ko to? Bakit ako sinasaksak? Di ba? In emergency response, we should sometimes recognize this. Minsan, it will take some time, magdalag muna ang utak natin to analyze what is happening kasi overwhelming yung event. Tatlo muna nasaksak bago nag-react yung mga estudyante at they evacuated. No? So, it's called normalcy bias. So, protective actions for active attacks, I'm calling this a decision-making protocol. Meaning, hindi po to duck overall, hindi po to 1, 2, 3. It is a decision-making protocol. It can be run or hide or fight. Okay? It can be run or hide or fight. So dapat depende sa sitwasyon. Kaya balikan ko lang dito, it's a decision-making model. So tatakbo ka ba o magda-lockdown ka? So ano yung mga distance from the attacker? Gaano kalayo? Kung malaki yung compound mo, nasa kabilang building pa, dito tumakbo ka, evacuate. Pag nandyan na, baka mag-lockdown ka. So direction of the attack, importante rin to. Mahirap ma-determine, no? Kung saan yung putok ng baril kung hindi ka sanay. So that's a challenge. So it's not easy to teach. Kaya wino-warn ko rin yung mga nagtuturo neto sa schools ngayon, hindi ganoon kadali. It's not just as easy as teaching duck cover and hold. No, you have to really discuss this para malaman nila yung tamang diskarte. Okay. The standard response protocol in the US is run, hide, fight. Meron din ginagamit para hindi naman masyadong brutal. Avoid, deny, defend. No, ADD. No, kasi sa mga ibang school sabi nila, sorry namin yung fight. No. And this protocol also is age-dependent. Of course, you don't discuss fight sa mga bata. Di ba? Okay? Kasi standard sa US no? So, hindi age-dependent dapat yung protocol. It's just running and hiding pagka mga bata. Okay? So, yan. Ito yung mga protocols. I won't discuss this na in detail. So, avoiding and running. Again, pag malayo pa. Okay? Next is denying and hiding. Ito yung tinatawag nating lockdown procedures. Okay, may dalawang term na ngayon kasi yung lockdown, natutunan natin yan nung pandemic Pero UN yan Ito, for pandemic. Pero yung lockdown talaga, pag sinabi nating, nasabi mo Ma'am Ruby kanina sa school sa US, lockdown drills. Pag sinabing lockdown drills, active shooter drills yon, yung lockdown drills na yung kadalasan. Ibig sabihin, they have to hide, they have to contain themselves doon sa loob ng classroom. No? Basically, what you do sa lockdown drill, lock the door, lights out, out of sight. No? Bakit? Kasi nga, ang gusto natin, forward ko lang ng kaunti may term na ginagamit dyan, yung time barrier. Bakit? Ano yung time barrier? Kasi ang active shooter, hindi naman magtatagal yan na may tina-target Actually, assassination yun pag meron siyang tina-target, di ba? Pero pag active shooter, 2 minutes may concern yan. So, pabilisan yan ng kanyang gagawin. Minutes lang yan. In fact, so pagka may barrier, may isang kwarto na sarado, hindi siya pupunta doon.
To other target.
Maghahanap sa ibang target na available. Exactly. So sabi ng study ng US Department of Justice, 70% are over in 5 minutes. Kasi nga mabilisan lang, depende yan sa dami rin ng bala. 90% are over in 10 minutes. So a locked classroom door is a proven time barrier. No? So dapat ituro to sa mga schools how to do your lockdown procedure properly. Kasi merong tamang paraan. Babalik lang ako dito. Okay. So, lock the doors. Di ba? Pero ang tanong sa mga public schools, baka walang kandado yung pinto. So, that's a challenge.
Yun nga.
Okay. Number 2, lights out. Madali naman yan, lights out. Pero out of sight. Di ba? Ang mga classrooms, kitang-kita yun. May jalousie window, kitang-kita. So, paano ka makakapagtago doon? So, that's the challenge now with this protocol sa local setting natin. So, ang recommendation ko nga dyan, maglagay kayo ng blinds, maglagay kayo ng blackout curtains, etc. Okay? So, again, this is a challenge for the Philippines. But basically, lock the door, lights out, out of sight. So, yan yung parang 3 words dyan. So, another is barricading. Meaning, kailangan mong i-reinforce yung pinto ng kwarto mo na para kahit mahirapan siyang itulak. Ayan. So, lahat ng pwedeng i-barricade dyan. Yung mga bookshelves, tables, tulong-tulong. Okay? Okay. Then,
Kuya,
yes.
malaking ano yan, kuya, dahil kung currently ang design ng door nila is palabas yung hatak,
Yes.
baguhin nila yon, no?
Locks is very important. Yung locks is very important. Okay? Pero kasi, yung palabas na na direction ng door, baka kino-consider din doon kasi yung emergency evacuation. It should
Yes,
open to
oo,
the direction of the
sunod.
travel.
Kailangan
Yun ang sabi
sunod.
ng fire code natin. Diba? So balance. So importante yung lock. Lock. So kahit na nabuksan, siguro kung meron pa ring kung meron pa ring kailangan mo i-delay eh. So you have to delay. No?
Yeah,
So deny the attacker from easy access. Okay? Yan. Kaya natamaan din ng barel, no? Yung nilalak nung namatay dun sa si Fabian, no? Si Boy Scout. Kasi nga, we have to also teach saan ka magtatago. So, importante malaman dito yung cover, the principle of cover and concealment. Cover, ibig sabihin, magtago ka sa pader. Hindi sa likod ng pinto na kahoy. That's concealment. No? So, again, dapat ituro din to. The importance nito. Otherwise, you will get killed. Okay? So, in-AI ko ang Philippine classroom sa public para ma-visualize natin how applicable is the lockdown drills. No? Mukhang kailangan natin ng adjustment talaga dito pagdating sa protocols, no? So see the windows, see the doors, 'di ba? At ano yung mga pwede nating ilagay diyan, okay? So DepEd should come up with something else, no? Okay. Case study lang, Virginia Tech. I was here. I had the chance to go to the Virginia Tech sometime, no? Nakita ko tong Norris Hall na to. Matagal na tong case study, 'di ba? Ang maganda lang dito, ang nakita lang dito is sa case study na to, yung room 205 kung saan na may time para i-lockdown yung pinto, walang namatay. Okay? Doon sa room 211, 206, 207, okay, nakapasok yung attacker, may mga, halos lahat na baril, maraming patay. Sa 204, pinatakas ng professor doon sa kwarto niya, may mga nabuhay. Unfortunately, yung professor na baril, napatay din. No? But yung lockdown drill na ginawa ng room 205 and all of them were alive. Okay, so yan po yan, that's the case study. So that's time barrier. And the last is defend, no? So again, age appropriate, but then hindi lang naman school sa pinag-usapan natin dito ngayon, it can be workplaces, di ba? So last resort, okay, if dapat magplano kayo sa last resort, commit fully to your actions. Swarm, kuyog, kung Tagalog, nasa Angel, di ba? Kuyugin nyo. Improvise weapons, chairs, fire extinguishers even, to obscure visibility, bags, and others. Okay, so yan. Easier said than done, but importante dito ng leadership na nandyan, no? So this is the run, hide, fight decision-making process. I mentioned this is a decision-making process, not a procedure na step by step. Okay? And I've come up with this na sa kanila, meron sa US ngayon, meron tinatawag na SRP, which is 5 actions pero dapat pare-parehas na gagamitin natin. Kunwari, hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. I won't discuss this because pero sa US, yan ang ginagamit ng mga schools nila na term para pare-parehas. Kaya nga I was telling my friends in the field of emergency management na careful tayo to invent mga terms natin, na mga acronym natin kasi mako-confuse ang mga tao. No? At saka, kung ang PNP ngayon is just telling us, run, hide, fight, we stick with that until we harmonize all the terminology. Otherwise, as a race communicator, I don't think that's a good practice. Okay? When police arrives, yan, kailangan ituro. The goal of the police is not to evacuate, not to rescue people. So follow the command, show hands, do not move, yan, taas ang kamay. Okay, the role of law enforcement is to stop the killing, stop the dying, and stop the crying. Meaning, subdue the attacker, okay, stop the dying by evacuating the injured, and stop the crying by evacuating also yung mga nandyan. So, ang first priority is subduing the attacker. So, that's the protocol. No? Yan, sa Amerika, may stop the bleed training program ka dahil sa yan. Nirecommend din natin yan ngayon that everyone learns that for civilians. And the last of the slide, sabi ko nga, recognize heroes and not the monster. No? So, para hindi natin i-glorify. Otherwise, ma-encourage natin yung copycat attacks eh. Di ba? Once we glorify, ang nakakalungkot, ginagawan pa ng memes, ginagawan pa ng mga kalokohan sa social media. Kaya I made a post sometime, no? Days after, sabi ko, do not glorify. Wag natin i-re-echo yung mga mukha nila, wag natin i-repost yung mga mukha nila, even their name should not be monitored, no? So yan dapat pinapakita natin. The highest honor scout awarded posthumously Chris Lawrence Fabian, no? Masasabi nating hero of the Tacloban shooting. So that's all, Sir Chair. Thank you.
Yan ang the real Boy Scout.
Yeah, real Boy Scout. Thank you, Sir Martin. Ang dami kong took down notes.
So, ito lang
Thank
sabi
you.
ni Vince Matthew, lights out in the broad daylight. Hindi niya naintindihan yung concept eh. Pagkapatay yung ilaw sa classroom, ang isipin nung shooter, walang tao dyan. Hindi lang ibig sabihin magpatay ka ng ilaw dahil gabi, no? Yun ang nun, keep out of sight, patayin mong ilaw para pagsilip nung shooter, walang tao dyan.
Yes, yes.
Ilaw walang ganon. No?
Kaya pero yung kortina importante rin yun,
Lawakan din natin yung ating lawakan natin yung ating pag-iisip nila puro comment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Beatrice.
May sisingit muna ako ng tanong para kay Attorney Brian, tapos ibigay ko na kay Kuya Trixie itong Attorney, meron akong dalawang tanong sa iyo. First is focused on the mental health and welfare ng mga bata. No? So, marami ngayong mga parents ang nakikinig sa atin o nanonood. Ano sa tingin mo or sa CWC itong mga emotional and psychological struggles ng mga bata that they are communicating silently sa mga adults or sa mga parents nila, pero nai-ignore ng mga adults o ng mga parents?
Well, yes po, ma'am. Sorry, go on. May pasunod po na.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, and yung second question is, tingin mo ba dapat taas, ito very popular ito, no? Tingin mo dapat mataasan yung age, no, ng criminal liability sa atin?
Babaan.
Babaan pala. Yeah, babaan. Thank you.
Okay, sige po ma'am. Dun sa first question niyo po, no, yung mga emotional struggles or mental health struggles na nafe-face po ng ating mga bata na hindi siguro nila na share. Actually, we don't really have studies at the moment, no, related dito sa yung mga violent acts. More of sa OSAIC at CSAM, yung online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, and yung creation nga po ng mga child sexual abuse and exploitation materials. Very similar po kasi yung mechanisms niya na pinakita po ni Sir Angel po kanina. Na ganun rin usually may groomer na magbe-build ng trust from a more friendly platform, tapos i-move sa mas private, tapos doon na-build yung trust na unti-unti until, pakita mo yung katawan sa akin. Show your whole body to me, no? So, usually, sa mga ganon, ang sinasabi ng isang study by the International Justice Mission or IJM, ito yung Scales of Harm study nila, one of the causes po talaga, no, why children often connect with strangers online is sometimes they're the victims of bullying at school. No, sometimes they're not being heard or listened to at the home or at school. Kaya nagtuturn sila dito sa mga online platforms na to. So that's one of the causes, no, the feeling of isolation nga po. And as mentioned rin earlier in the presentation by Sir Angel, that's one of the telltale signs rin. Yung mga narinig rin po natin sa Senate, yung mga dating masayahin na bata na very outgoing tas biglang tatahimik. Perhaps that demonstrates na something is going on na hindi po natin nakikita. So ang advice po ng CWC dyan sa ating mga parents is really to be the safe space for your kids. No? As mentioned rin kanina sa presentation, because if you're open, if you promote a no-shame culture, na you can talk to me about anything, is there something wrong, as simple as checking up, that goes a long way. Diba? Kung walang ganong environment, maisip ng bata, dito na lang ako sa mga online friends na nakikilala ko. Mas naiintindihan nila ako, di ba? And while that might be true, if kapwa bata ang kausap nila, we see for a fact na hindi Most of the time, these are adults, older persons who may have malicious intent or purposes. So yun po, it all boils down to really, as we say at the CWC nga, child protection really starts at home. Diba? I mean, the government is here, our institutions are here to ensure that each and every Filipino child are protected. But it always starts at home. So kasama niyo po ang CWC, yung mga parents, mga teachers yan, sa to ensure that our children are safe. Sa second question niyo po, ma'am, no, what is our stance when it comes to lowering the age of minimum age of criminal liability? That's a very good question. That's one of the topics talaga na lumitaw because of what happened in Tacloban. And in line with the statement of the President and yung directive rin po niya, we're open naman to discussions about this. Kasi baka it's time to really, examine the law. How effectively is it being implemented and so on and so forth. And the CWC, of course, is the lead agency when it comes to coordinating with other agencies for protecting the rights and best interests of our children. We will always be ready to provide our assistance and technical inputs regarding this. But what I can also add to that, ma'am, is, of course, baka hindi lang yung minimum age ang tingnan natin. 'Di ba? A lot of the focus is ang mga bata kasi kaya hindi sila criminally liable. At least yung isa. Yung I think 14 years old po kasi under our current law, hindi na siya pasok. But yung for me lang, no, perhaps let's not just focus on that. We should also focus on, kasi this is a very nuanced, very complicated conversation, and to reduce it to just the minimum age, parang masyadong simplistic nga po yun. Perhaps we should also examine bakit nga ba nangyayari yung cyber-enabled cognitive grooming na binanggit po ni Sir. Diba? Or yun nga, yung question na na-raise ko po kanina, why do children often feel the need to confide in these strangers online? Magandang usapin rin dito yung mga policies natin on anti-bullying, no? Or perhaps also, as mentioned, maybe we need to have more reporting mechanisms rin. Places where children are able to converse or air their grievances without any judgment, di ba? So yes, I understand kung bakit pinag-uusapan rin natin yung minimum age of criminal liability and kung maaari ba siyang ma-lower. But I also urge sana let's also explore the other aspects rin of this conversation kasi marami po talaga siyang parts na hindi lang doon nakafocus. So yun lang po, ma'am.
Thank you, attorney. Yan. Kuya Tribs, meron ka po bang tanong sa ating mga...
Malalim actually
Yeah.
yung discussion ni Brother Martin, alalim. Tsaka yung sabi rin ni Sir Angel. Actually, let me start first with the question to Sir Angel. Kasi, Sir, I remember in 2014, I wrote an article about the rise of the rise of the use of technology, but that was with the Islamic State. Hinaharap na nila, nagsa-start na sila on social media and so on and so forth. Naalala mo, meron sila mga video na meron silang pinupugutan ng ulo and so, di ba? So that, although that's a crass ideology, CRASS. Noong 2017, same platforms, same approach, pero dumarating na yung mga platforms tulad ng Discord, di ba? Paparating yung mga platforms na, because Telegram is only quite recently and so on. So ginagamit yung mga platforms na yon that help protect, and as a privacy practitioner, naiintindihan ko yung the balance between protecting privacy and also having these same platforms to encourage this kind of behavior. So my question to you is, as a cybersecurity expert, dapat ba i-deplatform natin lahat yung mga yan so that we can make sure, or should there be like balances or controls in the algorithms that will balance privacy protection and find out if there is this unwanted behavior?
Okay, so there is no straight answer, no? Ito, may mga question nga dito about banning. Why ban the platforms? No?
Correct.
Meron kasing dalawang klase na pag-ban. Yung isang klase ay yung national policy or yung government policy to ban all these online gaming platforms. But kailangan pag-usapan natin yung reason behind.
Correct.
The reason behind is yung nasa presentation. Nagiging siya, platform of convergence or where the identification of victims
Happens. Okay.
Diba? Doon nangyayari ang So dahil nagagamit siya at tinatanong ngayon ng gobyerno kung ano bang ginagawa ninyo. 'Di ba? For example, si Gorbax, pinatawag siya in-invite siya sa Senate para magbigay siya ng pahayag, no, kung anong ginagawa nila, anong intervention nila, hindi siya umattend. O anong choice ng government doon?
Correct.
Kasi ngayon, hindi natin alam kung ilang bata ang na-brainwash na.
Yeah.
Hindi natin alam kung ilang bata ang ready to execute itong mga mass shooting, stabbing. In fact, 2 days ago, di ba? Mayroon na namang stabbing sa, few days ago. May stabbing sa Iloilo and Zamboanga City. So, hindi natin alam kung ilan.
Correct.
And by banning these platforms, we disrupt the communication between the recruiter and the victim. We disrupt the recruitment. Meron siyang impact eh.
Correct.
Yun nga lang, mayroon ding maapektuhan ng mga legit na mga game developers. Mayroon ding maapektuhan na mga legit business or legit individuals making business out of the game platforms.
Correct.
Kaya hindi siya pwedeng absolute gawin na natin yan. Pero we are still faced with the question, what are we gonna do? Na kung merong current ongoing communication between the groomer and the victim, and the only way to prevent the groomer from sending tasks and other challenges to the victim is to cut that platform. But that is not it. Okay, we ban the gaming platforms. Pero sabi nga natin doon sa methodology nila, sa stages nila, nililipat nila sa other platforms yung victim nila eh. So if you are going to ban the gaming platforms, you might as well ban the chat platforms as well.
Yeah.
And again, maraming tatamaan na legit na mga businesses, individuals making money out of it, and most of them are supporting their families. So you might be doing more harm than good. That is the first option of the ban.
Okay.
The other option of the ban is on the family level. Family level, parents. Kapag yung anak mo minor and is playing games for long hours frequently, that is already a red flag. Number 2, kung yung anak mo may change of behavior na, red flag na yan. Number 3, kung yung anak mo hindi na makikipag-usap sa'yo, red flag na yan. So parents, today, ngayon, pwede na nilang gawin yan. Tingnan nila yung mga group chats. Pag ayaw ipakita ng anak mo, red flag na yan.
Red flag na,
Tigilin mo
correct.
na yan.
Correct.
Ano mo na yon, patayin mo na yung gadget na ginagamit niya. No more gadgets. As in, absolutely. So that type of ban will not affect the legitimate business in individuals doing legitimate business. But of course, sabi nga nila, that is also very difficult to do kasi hindi naman lahat ng parents ay techie. Ba? Hindi naman lahat ng parents alam nila yan. So, what is the next strategy natin? Kaya natin in-invite si Kuya Martin dito. We prepare for the worst case scenario that the same incident will happen. We have to anticipate or we have to assume. Kasi nga, alam na natin na mayroong grooming na nangyayari sa mga Filipino minors na gamers. So we have to assume na sooner or later, mangyayari na naman yan. So the schools must prepare.
Correct.
Diba? Kaya natin pinakita yung in-invite si Kuya Martin dito. Kasi yun ang kailangan nating gawin na at magagawa na yan ng mga schools eh. In fact, sa iba yata ginagawa na nila. Di ba? Ayan. So my lecture, gagawin na nila. Sabi ko nga sa ibang interview ko, kung walang makapasok na patalim dyan, walang magagamit sa pananaksak. Pwera na lang ballpen o pencil.
Correct.
Oh. Kung walang makapasok na baril dyan sa school, walang makakapamaril.
Tama.
So yun yung options natin. We have the option na absolutist na maraming apektado na mga legit individuals na doing business. Meron tayo sa family, no, na yung mga techie can already implement that. Yung mga medyo may mga part ng family na nakakaalam can implement that. Hindi yan 100% masawata natin, but at least minor or major percentage of the possible brainwashed minors will be prevented from executing harm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Correct.
and then the schools will so nandyan na yung school, yung LGU and the law enforcement na isang pag mayroong balita na ganito, less than 1 minute nandyan na kami. Sabi nga doon sa presentation ni Kuya Martin, which is very timely, no? Now, kung nakapasok talaga, yan na yung active attacks na tinatawag natin, yun na yung sinasabi ni Kuya Martin na ito na yung pwede nating gawin, run, hide, or fight.
Correct.
Yun yung ano natin. Kasi cybersecurity dito, walang silbi ang cybersecurity dito dahil ang inaatake, utak ang inaatake dito eh. Cognitive to eh.
Hmm.
Di ba?
Correct.
We protect infra, we protect networks, we protect systems, we protect data. But not minds of young children.
Pero di ba pag ganyan, Sir Angel, kailangan din mag-evolve yung cybersecurity to the house eh. Kasi di ba dun sa pinag-usapan mo kanina,
Agree.
yung indoctrination at saka yung mobilization, yun yung nangyayari on the ground. Bato ko lang kay Sir Martin. Doon sa presentation, boss, eksakto, comprehensive lahat tayo. I mean, lahat ang feeling ko lahat covered talaga. I have experience listening to being a data privacy officer for a security agency that handles a bank. Meron silang similar na ginagawa nito para sa mga bangko at bank employees pero hindi ganito ka-comprehensive. Kasi syempre iba yung kalaban dito eh. My question here, during this whole discussion of protection and how to keep yourself safe and so on, meron ba tayong pwedeng gamiting training to like magkaroon ng identification of possible, I know it's hard, it's a far off question, pero di ba posible yon, sir?
Identification of what?
O identification of an upcoming active attack.
Actually, yung kaninang sinasabi, because sa framework ng emergency management, iba, prevention mitigation, yun yung sinabi na ni Sir Angel. Cyber, pati sinabi ni attorney kanina, is monitoring the child itself, behavioral changes. Palagay ko, yun yung prevention side of it eh. Pero yung impending attack, again, at tinanong ko nga rin minsan sa mga kilala ko nasa eskwelahan, can the teacher monitor the Facebook page of their students? Diba? I don't know, data privacy yan, pero out of nowhere, I asked the question. Maganda pag-usapan yan. Pwede bang silipin ng mga teacher ang mga pages ng mga estudyante para ma-monitor? Kasi baka wala talagang, baka doon pa lang, baka makuha natin doon eh. Doon pa lang, baka maagapan natin. Diba? So anyway, yun sir, I don't think mahirap ang monitoring talaga, ang prevention talaga on the side sa cyber, at the same time actual behavioral changes modification monitoring.
Pero tayong siguro diyan Kuya Tribs, yung data analytics natin, no?
Yep.
So, for example, in a school with the help of the teachers and parents, they can gather data kung ilan ba yung mga online gamers sa school nila.
Tama.
And then dito sa online gamers na to, with the help of the parents, can without naming names of the child, can provide input na yung anak ko is playing 4 hours or more, 3 hours or more. So the school can at least come up, no, with an analysis na ang daming heavy gamers dito sa atin. And then correlate that doon sa recruiting na ginagawa, grooming na ginagawa ng itong grupo na to. Wag na natin pangalanan yung grupo na yan kasi ayaw ko ngang i-explain yan kung ano yung grupo na yan eh. Di ba? Yung grupo na yan. I-correlate natin na itong grupo na to are victimizing minors na nagbababad sa online games. Hindi naman nila mabiktima yung bata na naglalaro lang ng 1 hour o 2 hours every weekend lang. Hindi nila mabibiktima yon. Di ba? So, the school can say na ang dami nating heavy gamers dito. Posible dito, mayroon ditong bine-brainwash. Hindi natin alam kung sino, so we can prepare. Data-driven ka ngayon. Ngayon, hindi alam ng schools yan eh.
Tama.
Di ba?
Pero mahirap talaga mag-correlate, parang yung isang Oxford study na nilabas. So, yung conclusion ng study na yon, wala daw correlation because they failed to correlate. Pero if you read the whole study, meron silang mga variables doon na minention na totoo, may epekto yung gaming, may epekto yung communication platform, may epekto yung grooming, nihilism, and so on and so forth. Kahit na walang nahanap na link, merong laman yung study nila na nagsasabi that meron siyang tinatawag na general aggression model. Yun yung tawag dun sa modelo na yon. Bato ko lang kay attorney itong next question mula dun sa general aggression model. Attorney, dun sa kanina yung usapan natin about protecting children and lowering the age, however you call it, the age of criminal age and so on. Hindi ba there is proof, there are studies to say that children now mature faster than, for example, during my generation or the generation of Sir Angel or maybe even your generation. So, valid ba yung na yon? Valid ba yung thought na yon?
Well, yes, that's a very interesting point that you raised, sir, no? Kasi masasabi natin, iba na talaga yung generation natin ngayon. I think the term that they use is really digital natives.
Yep.
Na bata pa lang, marunong na mag-navigate sa social media, sa online. So perhaps there might be some merit in that point na baka nga mas mabilis na silang mag-mature. Mas makakaintindi na sila what's right and wrong. But I think that still, that of course merits further study rin. I'll defer to the child psychologists on that. But I think that also speaks to the yung malleability pa rin ng mind ng ating mga bata. I mean, nagiging mas mature, nagiging mas serious na sila or mas aware of the world because they're at that age nga. I mean, biologically, di ba, yung kanilang, I forget what part of the brain, yung prefrontal cortex ata yung binabanggit palagi. Hindi pa fully matured. Yes. Tama, sir. Hindi pa siya fully matured biologically. So baka nasasabi lang natin, mas nagiging mature na, but in reality, kasi mas, at the time, mas bombarded with information. Mas yes sir. So, I think that, but I get the point na baka nga that could be considered in the conversation.
Kasi, attorney, comment lang ako dyan. Yung algebra ko, college na yun eh.
Yes sir.
Ayun, elementary may algebra na, no? Mas matatalino na yung mga bata ngayon kumpara sa mga bata noon, di ba? So, yun yung mga funny side doon. But that's really very valid, no? Kung yung mga anak namin, dahil nga doon sa hindi pa develop yung frontal lobe, hindi namin sila pinagso-social media kasi hindi nila kakayanin yung mga bullying eh. Hindi nila mapaprocess yung mga ganun, yung social media bullying. Kaya bawal talaga yon, no? Yung sa lalo na sa games, kung targeted yung influencing, paano nila i-process yun? Na very, maraming questions na dito.
Mr. Chair, marami tayong questions, but it's already 6:09.
Tuloy na muna natin.
So, ano ba to? Si si attorney ay meron pa yatang date after this.
Okay lang, I can stay naman for a while po.
Ayun, thank you,
For a few
Atty.
Okay,
questions,
sige.
lang po.
So, meron tayong mga ilang tanong. Siguro we'll just address 3 questions, Mr. Chair.
Oo, hindi nila, kahit na buong gabi yata pag-usapan to, hindi matatapos to.
Oo, teka, pero hindi ako ano dito. Pero but while looking for a question, there is a message here from VP Shera. Mr. Chair, I can help you in this. Will you use a founder from US? I'm not sure kung ano tungkol sa there's a platform and technology that we can introduce an AI and wellness program for the students that can detect depression too. Best suited for the students. Ito daw yung itatayap ka daw ni VP Shera
Okay.
sa
Good.
okay, yep. And then meron dito where's that? Meron kanina na wait lang. Ito, well, nasagot naman ito question, hindi po ba dapat responsibility ito ng mga parents? Yung
Responsibility
sabi nga
naman
nito.
talaga. Ay,
Yeah.
yun naman ang punot dulo eh. Kaso nga lang, we also understand na mga parents, mga busy, they find ways to pacify their kids, di ba? And so far technology has proven to be very effective.
Babysitter. Oo.
Being a babysitter. It's just that pag tumagal, akala ng mga parents effective ang gadget sa pagyaya, yung pala influence na yung bata.
Right.
Addicted na yung bata. So yun na yung ano.
Right. Ito from Schwarz Krieger, shouldn't it be best to start the proper I am at home and best practices at home
Yeah. Oo.
and best practices on cybersecurity by limiting access and installation permissions on all home devices, workstations, and mobile devices, both at the host and network level, rather than ipagtiwala yung installation process to children who are prone to perturbation.
Ang comment ko dyan kasi yung parents din, very few percentage ang techie. No? May comment din dito si Vince kanina na mayroong mga safety measures naman. Totoo yun, may safety measures. Kaso nga, hindi naman marunong ang magulang. Siguro 90-95% ng magulang hindi techie eh. No? So, hindi nila alam yon. Ang problema doon sa safety measures na yon, nababypass yon. Ibig sabihin, tatanungin ka lang, are you 18 years old? I-click mo lang yung yes. Babypass na yon. No. So sa part sa online gaming platforms at saka gaming developers, dapat ilagay nila yan na hindi, kung titingnan natin yung value chain ng paglalaro ng bata, saan nag-uumpisa? Bago pa siya maka-download, mag-create muna siya ng email. Di ba?
Oo.
Pag nag-create siya ng email, dapat ang email na yon ay nakapaloob under sa email ng parents niya. So that pag nag-download siya, mano-notify yung parents niya or mag-approve yung parents niya. Okay, pwede mo i-download yan. O pwede mong pag maglaro ka sa games, mag-register ka, mano-notify yung parents mo. So everything must be done. Now, walang bypass. Yun dapat ang gagawin ng mga doon ang contribution ng mga game developers at saka yung mga online gaming platforms na make sure na walang bypass. Na kapag kakailangan ng approval ng parents or guardian or anyone that is really old enough to guide you, dapat mangyayari yon. Hindi pwedeng bypass. Kasi unmoderated ngayon yung 18 years above eh.
Correct.
Meron nga ganun, but that's unmoderated.
Correct.
Hindi pa yun ni-implement eh.
Tama.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chair, yung ibang
Ay,
mga
batiin
tanong.
muna natin si Kuya Norman. Binati si Kuya Martin ni Kuya Norman Anceta. Good. Nice seeing and hearing you here daw, Kuya Martin.
Yes, okay. Yung ibang mga tanong dito kasi, parang nasagot na rin naman during the course of our discussion. So, ang sabi lang dito ni 7 Hosting PH, extension daw ng 30 minutes ang discussion.
Wala, nag-extend na tayo, 15
Yan,
minutes.
nag-extend na tayo. Pero, Mr. Chair, sa browse ko, parang yung iba ay, nasagot na lang natin. Except for one, meron dito na parang, dapat ba magkaroon na ng school? Where is that? Naku, biglang nawala. Haha. Yung, meron siyang bureau, yung sa school, hindi ko na siya makita.
Hindi ko rin na mahanap.
Then-
Yung rights,
Yeah,
Child Rights
yeah. Oo,
Bureau,
nakita ko siya. Yun lang yung isa na parang hindi pa natin
Educator Rights
natin
Protection
nasasa-
Bureau
Ayun.
ata.
Oo, educator
Need na,
rights,
need
correct.
na bang magkaroon ng Educational Rights Protection Bureau?
Attorney, ikaw sasagot niyan.
Yes.
Well, that's a good question nga po, perhaps nga. But I think the DepEd has yung BLSS, the Bureau of Learner Support Services, no? So, ewan ko if may overlap na mandate doon. Ano po ba yung mandate ng ERPB na sinasabi nila? I think this came from a popular Netflix series, tama po ba?
Oo.
Parang sila yung nag-examine talaga ng cases of bullying sa schools, no? Assessing yung safety ng mga schools. Top of my mind, I'm not sure. I think DepEd has its own programs, and perhaps may unit nga sila na nakatutok dyan. Hindi ko lang sure kung BLSS nga po yun. But on our end, sa CWC naman, we do have yung Makabata Helpline. So yun, this is a network rin po ng mga social workers namin, ready to answer any concerns or questions. Now, we receive a lot of calls concerning bullying. Tapos aside from giving the first line of support sa bata, kung kailangan niya ng kausap lang na social worker, meron naman. Kung medyo legal na yung usapan, may lawyer rin po kami doon. Yung maganda rin doon, we'll coordinate directly with DepEd rin para matutukan yung concern po, no? So yeah, we do have those mechanisms in place, but definitely baka nga dapat i-strengthen rin po.
Thank you, Attorney. So basically yung iba po ng mga tanong na kung hindi namin nasagot, kasi sa pagtingin ko parang yung iba nasagot na rin naman. Yung iba po na hindi natin nasagot, please drop us a message na lang, Mr. Chair, dito.
Actually, marami din mga
comments.
suggestions, no, mga
Yes.
proposal.
Yeah.
So, yun, maganda to kasi itong video kasi natin is bukod sa mananatili to sa Facebook page natin, uploaded ito sa YouTube channel natin at nagkakaroon to ng mga views din.
Yes.
So, maganda rin makita yung mga comments at suggestions dito. So,
Yeah.
siguro wag na
Meron
meron pa ba?
Meron lang sinabi si Krieger, the current mindset ng bata is kapag nasabing guidance, may kaso agad. So perhaps iyan din yung hindrance din to disclose their problems. Yeah. No? Parang meron parang
Noon, pag
kakasik-
guidance counselor kami noon.
Diba? Yes, okay. And sabi dito ni Ibrahim de los Santos Gumama, we must learn from past incidents to guide the present, creating a knowledge-based framework shared through DepEd to empower students with wisdom rooted in history. Philippine Institute. Ayan. Okay. So with that, Mr. Chair, hingan na natin ang final word ng ating mga
Okay, dahil 6:18 na.
yes, ang ating mga guests. Let's start off with Attorney Brian.
Okay, well, siguro first, I mean, again, thank you very much for inviting me here, no? And yeah, at the end of the day, uulitin ko lang naman yung sinasabi namin palagi sa CWC that child protection always starts at home. Ang sinasabi rin natin, di ba, before, it takes a village to raise a child. But in this day and age, yung village na yun, hindi na lang yung mga nasa paligid mo kasama na yung online. So we should take that into consideration rin when we guide our children, no? So wag po nating kalimutan, no? Basta bata, tayong lahat po ang bahala. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Brian from CWC. And kay Sir Martin. Sir, your final word.
Yeah, thank you, Pix Pro, for inviting me here. I learned so much also, no? Yung dun sa sinabi, especially sa lecture mo, Sir Angel. And I have one realization, no? Aside from yung sinabi mo kasi, ang nag-resonate sa akin yung self-harm, di ba? Hindi lang attack, hindi lang harm to other people. Yung mga suicide cases might be related to that also. So, in terms of preparedness sa trabaho ko, yan ang aking linya. I think being ready for suicide attacks, suicide attempts, no?
Attempts.
Napaka-importante 'yan. Kasi wala ring ready na institution to respond to possible suicide attempts, no? So, thank you. May na-pick up akong very relevant. And then I will pursue yung portion na 'yan. Maraming salamat, Pix Pro.
Thank you, Sir Martin, sa uulitin ha, para mas marami
Sure.
pa akong masulat dito. And Kuya Tribs, thank you for helping us out here. Your final word.
Ay, maraming salamat uli. Habang nag-uusap tayo, gumagawa na ako ng article eh. So, doon lang sa kwento, i-summarize ko lang Sir Angel para lang mabigat kasi talaga yung usapan. And actually in this forum, we actually opened more questions than we answered. 'Di ba? Mas
Yeah.
maraming mga tanong na kailangan sagutin. Hindi natin kung hindi yung mga nakataya na dapat sumagot doon sa mga tanong na yon. So questions on grooming, on yung paggamit ng mga private messaging platforms, yung gaming and so on. Maraming bumukas doon sa kwento, doon sa presentation ni Sir Martin. Naging maliwanag din para sa akin yung existence ng mga activities na kailangan gawin dito para matapos ang abuse, ang violence, ang attacks, di ba? So, ang daming mga kailangan sagutin. So, tayo bilang mga Pix Pro people, I think we have to make it or take it seriously to be very vigilant in this case in our realm as cybersecurity people and also outside of that in the physical realm. So yun lang po, maraming salamat uli sa Pix Pro sa pag-imbita sa akin ngayon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuya Tribs. Sa susunod ulit ha.
Sige, basta tawag lang.
Okay, thank you. And bago ko ibigay kay Mr. Chair for his final message at saka yung ating extra, I would like to give my final message naman. Hihiramin ko yung sinabi ni Christopher Son, si Tops, Mr. Chair. Ang sabi niya dito, sa mga magulang, huwag pong matakot. May history ang 764 NCOMs na takutin ng mga parents or mga bata na may banta sa kanila. It is up to us as cyber protectors, parents, and guardians to raise awareness as well to encourage for us be not afraid. And these groups love to feed on the fear of the people like children and parents, especially when they are getting noticed, and it fuels the CICG doctrine more. Okay, so importante alam natin ang ating mga gagawin, ano? So, para ma-overcome yung ating mga takot. So, we need to have more awareness on this matter. Thank you, Tops, for this. Now, Mr. Chair, your final word.
So, dati, pag yung anak natin nasa loob ng bahay, kampante na tayo. Di ba? Safe yan. Nasa loob ng bahay. Hindi na ngayon. Yung mga anak natin, to be in danger, hindi na kailangan lumabas ng bahay. In fact, sa loob pa sila ng kwarto nila, nagbababad. No? Nandun yung danger. And unfortunately, hindi ito problema na kayang solusyonan ng mga parents lang. Hindi ito problema na kayang solusyonan ng government lang or ng mga technology providers, cybersecurity professionals, data protection officers, mga mga emergency response experts. Ang problema na ito ay kailangan lahat tayo sabay-sabay na gagalaw. Gagalaw ang parents, gagalaw ang school, gagalaw ang LGU, gagalaw ang law enforcement, and then gagalaw ang national government and legislation. Ito yung mga ano nila na batas. So for that to uh, for us to be able to create that impact in a reduced timeline, we have to have that political will. Sa parents, no? Pag tinanggalan natin ng gadget yung anak natin, lalo na kung addicted na sila sa kanilang gadget, makikita mo magwa-wild. Maawa tayo, ibabalik natin. Pero yun ang ano natin na it's a start, no? It's a start na hindi natin alam ngayon kung anong mangyayari sa anak natin. Yung mga anak namin na mga elementary and high school, every time they go to school, yun lagi ang nasa isip ko. Paano kung yung school nila ang next na mangyayari? Ano gagawin ko? 'Di ba? Oh, so kung magkaroon ba ng active attack doon, oh, ako may mga baril ako. Pwede ba akong sumugod doon? Ako mismo ang ano kung hindi pa darating ang mga pulis, 'di ba? Kasi love of a parent to the children 'yan eh. Instinct natin 'yan eh. We protect our kids, 'di ba? But pag nandun ka na, ang babarilin mo bata din. Hindi naman tayo marunong mag-subdue. Hindi naman tayo expert sa judo or kung ano man, 'di ba? So parehong biktima eh. Yung nang bibiktima, biktima din siya. Yung na biktima, biktima lahat dito. 'Yun ang pinakamalaking problema sa problema na ito, no? So ang weapon natin ngayon is really to be vigilant, no? Sabi nga, the best defense this time is visibility. We need to have visibility sa ating mga anak. Anong mga ginagawa nila, no? We need to have visibility sa kung ano man ang ginagawa nila sa school or outside sa bahay natin as parents. Sabi nga ni attorney, yung protection ng bata nag-uumpisa talaga sa bahay. At pag sinabi nating bahay, magulang 'yan, no?
Yes.
Magulang, tita, tito, yan ang ano ng bata. So, unfortunately, wala tayong magandang masasabi dito. Kung cybersecurity lang 'to, ang dami natin pwedeng sabihin para ma-improve natin ang posture, no? Unfortunately dito, it's the mind of a vulnerable young children that's being targeted.
Yes.
And walang cybersecurity tools, technology, strategy, and policy ang pwedeng masabi nating ma-implement dyan, no? So, lahat, gabayan natin ang mga anak natin, bantayan natin ang mga anak natin, at siguraduhin natin na hindi sila ma-expose dito sa tinatawag natin na cyber-enabled cognitive grooming, no? So isa na namang kwentuhang cybersecurity ang nagawa natin ngayon. Medyo mabigat ang topic natin ngayon, pero nagpapasalamat tayo sa ating mga invited guests, no? Na very comprehensive yung composition
Yes.
from our Council for the Welfare of Children sa office ni Yusek Jello Tapales, si Attorney Brian Thomas Santa Maria. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Attorney, at happy birthday ulit sa iyo.
Happy
Thank you so much, sir.
birthday.
Thank you po, Chair. Thank you po, ma'am.
Next time, kung ma-invite ulit ako sa Senate at nandun ka, magkakamayan kita.
Opo, sir. Picture tayo.
Oo. At syempre, ang ating idol sa emergency response, no?
Yes.
Ma-earthquake drill man yan, ma-fire drill man yan, ma-crowd control man yan, lahat ng mga disaster-related na response, si Kuya Martin, na napaka-busy tao nito, pinagbigyan tayo
Yes,
ngayon.
thank you. Thank you.
Maraming
sir.
salamat, Kuya. At sa Facebook kita laging nakikita mga post mo. Idol na idol kita sa advocacy mo din, no?
At saka sa pagtakbo, ha? Yes.
Magtakbo. Oo, magtakbo.
Yeah, thank you. Si Sir Martin is the Managing Director of Disaster Intelligence Incorporated. Thank
Yun.
you.
And of course, kung kailangan laging positive ang sagot ni Kuya Tribs, no? Si Kuya Raymond Gregory Tribdino, isang pillar ito sa technology industry ng Pilipinas. Sa Tech Sabado nila na hindi lang Sabado na yung Tech Sabado, Kuya Tribs, no?
Oh, well, Tech Sabado pa rin pero nire-record na namin, di kami nakakapag-live ngayon.
Okay. So you can also watch yung Tech Sabado, nandun si Kuya Trib, saka sila Jing
At
at
saka si Attorney Melvin.
Attorney Melvin, no? Yun, mga pillars ng technology industry. At of course, sa ating mga viewers, maraming salamat ulit, no? Nandyan pa kayo. Ngayon, nag-ano tayo, extend tayo ng 30 minutes.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, maisingit ko lang dun sa mga parents ngayon na nanonood, sa mga teachers ngayon, if you want this discuss sa school ng inyong mga bata, mag-message lang kayo sa amin sa PixPro at pupuntahan namin kayo para, alam mo, tulong-tulong tayo na mag-educate at magbigay ng awareness, no, sa every school possible.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Kaya part yan ng educate namin, no?
Yes.
So, sa educate namin, kahit nasan ka, pupuntahan ka namin
Ka namin.
para maprotektahan ang mga vulnerable na mga bata.
Yes.
Okay, so
Thank you.
isang Friday na naman at sabi ng iba, happy weekend. Pero kami sa cybersecurity, sa emergency response, at sa pagpalaganap ng welfare ng kabataan at pagpalaganap ng mga IT, cybersecurity, and AI-related na balita, kami ay happy lang!
Happy lang. Walang weekend. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you, Kuya
Mga
Martin.
Ginoo,
Kuya
thank you, Sir
Tribs, and
Martin.
Attorney Brian.
Attorney,
Maraming
happy
salamat.
birthday kay Kuya Tribs. Maraming
Thank you
salamat
so
po.
much po.